All right, I'm back for Dust US's ongoing coverage of IEM Dallas 2025. I'm here with Youngster of Heroic, following a three mapper against Aurora. So to start, fantastic showing overall. Taking down Aurora. One thing I want to get your thoughts on right away is the Anubis game map too, where you were up at 11-1 at one point, and it took you the entire rest of the map to close it out. What happened there with that? That sort of collapse, and how were you able to come out of the collapse?
So basically, as we all know, Anubis is a very T-sided map, and if the first couple of kills goes to the way of the opponents, like the T's, they can control the rotations, they can control every whatever. So it was about the first duels. Like when we lost the first duels, it was obviously harder to play, but we took a timeout and we said yeah, just play slow when we do stuff together mid round, and that was basically it.
Overall, a strong showing from you in your Dallas debut, especially on the latter two maps. How are you feeling about your own individual form? As we approach your first major.
I mean, my individual form this game, like I can say, first game I was very nervous. I was shaking a bit, but after when I talked with my coach or with the team, like I got very much confidence, and I think I stepped up for the last two games.
And people may not appreciate this, but compared to a lot of players here, you have relatively little LAN experience. Your first LAN outside of the Telia League was, I believe, at the midpoint of 2024. So you've only played a handful of LANs at this point. How has that transition to LAN play been for you?
I mean, it's a bit more pressure since maybe a bit of trash talking or whatever. It's a bit more pressure, but I feel like as long as you're confident in yourself and your mental is on the right place, it's almost the same.
Do you think you have strong mental? Did you come into this team with strong mental, or is it something you've had to build up, while working with Feed, Saha, and the other coaches and mentors on this squad?
I mean, my mental was fine when I came into the team. Like some stuff happened in my personal life as well. So my mental coach and assistant coach, everyone has been there for me and helped me a lot with the mental.
Something about your background I find interesting is, so for those who don't know, you're a Swedish player, largely came up through the international scene, with obviously Sangol and then straight into Heroic, but you really got your start in the Norwegian scene, which is quite odd, playing with Bitfix and playing with Metasport. We usually see like a Swedish player usually come up through like Frag League or King of the North or something like that, where they're constantly, playing with like just a Swedish mix for a while. Why did you end up in the Norwegian scene, and just tell me what happened there?
So basically, I was kind of hated in the Swedish scene because everyone thought I was toxic back then when I was younger. So I started to play with Norwegians, and the Norwegian organization Bitfix was actually the organization that gave me the offer to try to play like full time. It was not full time salary, but full time. So when I got the offer and I got the chance, I took it insta, and that's where I went.
And from there, you went to Sangol, and you obviously came together with that, the trio that would end up going to Heroic. But you were united there with Sun Pius and TN1R. To start, Sun Pius is the most experienced player on this team. He's someone who at one time was regarded as one of the better operators in Tier One. Previously won a Dallas, of course. What's it been like working with him as the sort of veteran face on this really young roster?
I mean, me as who comes in as like almost no experience at all, and Tenir as well, who doesn't have the best experience. Like Alvaro Sampaio is helping with everything. Like he's having the mood, like inside and outside of the game. Like he's showing how we should work and what hours like we should put in. So like he's having he's a good leader.
And Tinner, TN1R, however you say it, Tinner, I guess. He's a relative enigma too, a young guy was sort of picked up through heroic scouting processes. What's he like? What's his temperament in the server?
I mean, he's a chill guy. Usually he's smiling a lot. When maybe he doesn't have the best game or stats-wise, he may be a bit more tilted or silent. But he's a very chill guy. Very nice to have in the team.
And then, so tomorrow you're going to be facing off against Falcons in your match for a spot in playoffs. It's sort of the young versus old, expensive versus rookies we grabbed from Sangol. It's sort of a very difference between the older generation and the next generation of Counter Strike. How are you feeling about that match going up against such such an expensive squad and one that has a pedigree for being some of the best players in the world?
I mean, our team is hungry as always. Like we're here to prove that hard works beat money. So we're very, very motivated, and we're not giving too much respect to them because then we're losing confidence. So we're treating every opponent equal.
This will be your last event before you head into the major, which will be your first major. So congratulations there. What are your overall expectations for this event?
I mean, we're lucky that this event is before the major, since we can, whatever happens here, we can learn a lot from. So I didn't have like personal expectations, but let's just treat every game the same and see how far it goes.
And then we're asking a lot of teams what their travel plans are to, contend with the fact that you have to go to North America and then, be back in Austin for the major. Is Heroic planning on going back to Europe after Dallas, or are we, going to stay in North America, go somewhere to boot camp? What's the game plan?
Like after Dallas, whatever, how far we reach, we're going back to Europe, and then we're coming back. So we're going back to Europe.
All right. That is Youngster. Thank you so much for your time. We'll see you against Falcons tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you.